Tonight's project is assisted by Irish Red Ale from Nonsuch Brewing in Winnipeg. They describe it as smooth, malty, and cola? What? Not sure I'm getting cola vibes out of that. Maybe out of the color a little bit? I don't know. Anyway, that's not important right now. What is important is the project tonight, because it's a storage project. You may have seen a few things in recent mailbags come in these kind of packages, and I could just stack them up as you saw, but that starts to get a little wobbly as the stack starts getting high. There's 6 right now. I have had some come in these kind of packages in the past, and I've placed them into the drawer solutions that I've got around here, but putting these things into drawers kind of takes up a lot of space in the drawers for small amounts of stuff, especially when there are multiple different types and sizes like these USB connectors or these screws, because you kind of want to have them separated a little bit anyway, just to make it easier to find stuff. So I kind of like to keep them in these containers if I could, and I would like to make some sort of a rack for those to hang out in. So that they're, not taking up too much space, so that they are still easy to see, but not chippy and whatnot. So I'm going to use my new laser cutter for this project, and I'm going to use a website to design it because I'm lazy and I don't feel like doing all the CAD work. And that website happens to be a free website that I found called makercase.com. I'll put a link down below. I have no affiliation with them at all. I just found it, and it seems to be a good thing to make this kind of stuff. So I'm going to start by choosing box with dividers. It looks like you can make beer cases or anything you want out of that. Change to millimeters. Now then, I guess I should figure out what material I'm going to make this out of. I'll see what I got kicking around. I found these squares of fiberboard, masonite, maybe something like that. I think those should work. How thick are they? Those are 2.9 millimeters thick. We'll call them 3 just for good measure. So we enter our 3 millimeters there, and that is actually one of the defaults. That's cool. And then I guess we should change the number of rows and columns. I think I only want 1 row. Or is it 1 column? No, I want 1 column. I want, how many things I have? I have 6. So, like that. And then I've got to figure out the heights and widths. So, these boxes, are they all the same? It's 22 millimeters. That one's 22.7, 22.2, 20, 21.4. 22.9, so 23. So I think I'll go with 25. It's a nice round number. Those of you in the US might recognize that as 1 inch, but for the rest of the world, we'll call it 25 millimeters. So I'll plug that in. Also, I'll figure out the width height that I need. That's 69, 68, etc. I'll figure that out. I think I want the thing to be about a little bit over half the depth. So do we say 70? Nah, let's go 80, I think. Yeah, that way when they slot in, they won't over-center and fall out. Let's just quickly draw out what I want here. I need 6 slots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it's not to scale. These are each 25 millimeters on the inside. What did I say? I want 70 wide, and I think I'll go 85 deep. Now then, let's do a bit of math and figure out how tall I want this thing. So 6 by 25 is 150. I should have known that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 3 millimeters. Right. Plus, what did I say? 150. 171. Let's make it about 180 millimeters tall, just for good measure. So I think that is everything that we need to lay it out. Plug in those numbers and we get to that, which looks a lot like what I want. So we're going to have side pieces, back piece, top and bottom, and a bunch of these interior dividers. I changed one of the numbers. I rethought the cases are 68-ish millimeters wide at the widest, so I added 6 to that to get the outside dimensions. I could work for the inside dimensions, but I think what I've got should do the job. So that is that. Now I go to download box plans. I'm going to change the color to black. I don't need the labels. Let's download the SVG of this. Boof, there it is. And then we import it into Inkscape to do just a little bit more editing, because this is bigger than the pieces of material that I've got. So I am going to, what do I have to do? This is a single SVG, so I need to take my object and ungroup it. So now I can select individual pieces. I need to grab a couple at a time and copy them into a new SVG, just so that I can arrange them so that they will sit on the boards that I've got properly when I laser cut them. Grab those two. There is the 2 side pieces copied into a new document. I'll just save that, and then I'll continue and do the same thing with, I guess, these 2 top and bottoms, maybe the back, and then I'll put the other pieces on another document, and I should have all 3 of them that I can send to the laser cutter. So over on the laptop that's connected to the laser, we'll just import some of those files, just one at a time. Open probably. Haven't used Lightburn very much. I'm still getting used to it. There they are. Let's do the sides first. And there they are. So we'll have to make sure that the settings are correct, and I want cuts. So I want to be according to this test chart that I did at 10 millimeters per second and probably 80%. Although 70 is close to. Let's go 75 just for the hell of it. So 10 millimeters per second and 75% power. Line passes 1. I think everything else is correct. So now we will run the framing just to get everything aligned, and so we know where we're going, and then go for it. That's fully inside the material, so let's rock and roll. Okay, let's see how that came out. Beautiful, good settings, I like it. Now just repeat with the other files, and I will meet you back at the workbench with these and some glue. Alright, laser cut parts are done. Well, let's get to assembling. Top and bottom, back, side pieces. Those all fit together very nicely. The clearances work out. That's great. There is some charring on the side. I will take care of that later. That is the one downside of doing things with a laser, is you get a little bit of charring on your wood or wood-like products. but how I'm going to handle it is painting them after the fact. So that goes together like that. Now it's just basically a puzzle from here, and it should slot together fairly easily, I think. I think I'm going to have to tape this just to hold it while I'm working, just because I don't have 4 hands. I think that should work. How am I going to hold this together? Some kind of glue, I guess. Hadn't thought that far ahead. I suppose hot melt might work, but since this is a woodish kind of product, I think I will use a wood glue. Glue of choice for tonight is LePage's Carpenter's Glue. You can use whatever wood glue you got lying around. You could probably also even just use plain old white glue. I would expect that would work. It's likely very similar stuff. Don't worry, I'm not going to turn this into an arts and crafts channel or a carpentry channel. Sometimes you just need to do some shop infrastructure, and I figured I'd bring you guys along for the ride. This is kind of electronics adjacent, isn't it? It's restoring electronics components. Is that not an issue that we all have to deal with at one point or another in this hobby? That kind of works, I guess. I don't know, it's shop furniture. It doesn't have to be beautiful, it just has to be functional. I'm probably gluing this to my workbench. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I can feel some glue skoodge on the bottom. So this is maybe not ideal, but it will work. I'll clean it up later. Oh, fits like a glove. I'm just gonna smush this glue in a little bit, and I will let it dry for a little while. I'm not going to force you to sit here watching glue dry. I'm sure there are channels for that on YouTube if you're interested. This ain't one of them. And then do I need to glue these things in? Yeah, I suppose I probably should. Although I don't think I need to put all that much glue on them. Just a little bit to hold them in place. They're not going anywhere. Gravity and friction is going to take care of them, I suspect. That's working pretty well. They're quite tight, good tolerances. I like this laser cutter. It's certainly a lot more accurate than how I would have been able to do it if I was doing it by hand. Although because it was me, I slightly misjudged my material, and this went off the edge of one of them by about 5 millimeters or so. So this one is a little bit shorter than the rest, but I don't think that's going to matter. At least I hope not. While the glue is drying, let's just test fit these and make sure it's actually going to work here. I'm not going to put one into the bottom one or the top one because there's all that glue in the corner, but so there's what it's going to look like, and it looks like they fit, which is awesome. And now just a quick trip to the paint shop. Good morning. Paint's dry. Here we are. This is not the best paint job I've done ever. I don't care. It's covered up the charred bits, so I don't have to worry about that. From 6 feet away, it looks perfectly fine, especially since it's going to be sitting in a shelf in the corner of my shop. So actually, I think I will put the one with the screws on the bottom because it's the heaviest. I'll stack the rest of these into here. I may label them later. Don't know. Doesn't matter because labeling is nothing exciting for you guys to see, but there we go. And that is going to live just over here. I think. Yeah, it fits in there beautifully. There's probably room for another one should I get more things in that form factor. I think that's a win. As I said off the top, this isn't maybe the most exciting project, but it is something that needs to happen as your collection of spare parts in a shop grows. Hope somebody found that interesting and useful. There will be a couple of links down in the description. One to the website for the tool that I use to design these, and what else? Oh, I guess to Inkscape, which is the other software, and of course to my laser cutter, which will be an affiliate link because that's just the way I got that laser. If you're interested, click on the links, take a look. Thanks for watching, everybody. Questions and comments down below as usual. I'll talk to you later.